Universal design for learning takes into account that three primary brain networks are used when we learn. And I say we because UDL not only includes our K through 12 learners, but also includes us as adult learners. So if you will look with me at the first illustration of the brain, the one in purple on the left, follow where I'm circling the cursor. This is the recognition network of the brain. It's in the back of the brain. And what is processed here is the what of learning. It's the patterns that the students see, whether it's in the at sounding words, bat, cat, mat, fat, sat, or whether it's recognizing the patterns of how the organelles in a cell work, or the relationship between the major and minor keys, or how an author uses um, figurative language in order to express his or her point. Now, the what of learning would be the content, what we need our students to learn, what we want them to retain and remember in order to be successful citizens in the 21st century. And UDL tells us that what we need to do is to provide different pathways, different methods for our students to learn the content that we are trying to teach. Whether we use podcasts and include a transcript, or whether we use animation on the smart board or with our smart tablets, providing multiple ways to express our content just allows the students to be more successful in acquiring the knowledge that we need them to have. The next network that Universal Design for Learning takes into account is the strategic network. And this is the second illustration, the illustration in the middle that's in blue. And the strategic network is the skills, the how of learning, how we organize our information, how we and learners organize the content, and then how we express it. How do we prove, how do we show that we know what we know? Um, and just as everything else with learning, not every student expresses their learning in the same way to the same degree of excellence. Some students may excel at presenting their knowledge orally, while others do excel in presenting it in written format. Some may build a story of their learning through Movie Maker and Photo Story with illustrations and all the cool bells and whistles that show exactly what they do know. And as educators, we need to provide ways to allow our students to demonstrate their learning. And finally, when we move on to the affective network, that's the third one on the screen, it's the why of learning. Now, this is where we struggle so much in middle school. Gone are the days when students will just learn because they want to please their teacher. Some of them still want to do that. But why do we learn? Why do we care about our learning? How are we motivated about what it is that we are doing in school? And this comes into play when we talk about engagement. How do we keep the students motivated? How do we keep them focused and tuned in? Is it in using the new technological skills that they have? Is it in providing extrinsic motivation, which isn't always the best, but sometimes we need to do this? The affective network is the why of the learning, and it's where we need to focus as much time as we do in the other networks.